I haven't bought all my kit today. Obviously I'm staying at the campsite for another night, so I've left everything there. I'm just taking a bit of food and waterproof jacket, just the basics really.
I'm like a river that's overflowed. The sooner you know it, the less do we hurt. Let me speak the truth. I know you don't want to face it. You think it's too late, but I can see
those clouds up there look a bit threatening, I think. Just have to get on with it. If I get a bit wet, I get a bit of wet. So today I'm going to aim to follow in the footsteps of the 8th East Surreys. Now remember, these are the guys that were led out into no man's land with a few footballs provided by Captain Neville. Now my great uncle Jack Bagg, he's an 8th East Surrey man, so who knows, he might be one of the guys to kick the footballs across no man's land as well. So we're heading for the area just north of Carnoy, where the 8th East Surreys, as part of the 18th Division, made their assault on the 1st of July, on the opening day of the Somme. Let's go check that out.
The village of Fricourt was a key German strongpoint and was heavily defended. It had been pounded for a week by artillery, with mines and gas also being used on the morning of the first attack. It was eventually captured early in the morning of the 2nd of July by the 17th Division. This crossroads on the edge of Fricourt village marks the British front line on the eve of the opening attack of the Somme.
Bonjour. See, it is true. The French are friendly. Right, I'm here at the section that was held by the 8th East Surreys. And if we look across this ploughed field, we're standing pretty much on the front line that was held by the 8th East Surreys. And the German front line was, broadly speaking, where the crops are now that you can see, maybe 150 yards away.
The German front line had been bombarded heavily for a week before the attack on the 1st of July. This photo shows a British gas attack in progress just before the main assault. At just before 7:30, all along the 20-mile front, whistles were blown, and with that, Captain Neville led his men over the top, kicking a couple of footballs into no man's land for the men to follow. Approaching the German line, the men came under heavy fire and the advance wavered. So at that moment, Neville rallied the men to move them forward, and it was at this moment that he was hit and killed instantly. The men pushed on and into the German front line, and from there they fought trench by trench, eventually capturing the Montauban ridge by 12:30 p.m. Captain Neville, like many, would not live to see the success of the battalion that day, but his story and his legacy would live on. He was not just a brave man, but clearly an inspirational leader who led right from the very front. The football charge, as it became known, was reported in the press within days, and soon caught the imagination of the public, passing the action and the name of Captain Neville into military legend. I know that my own great uncle Jack served with the 8th East Surreys, but I'll never know if he served directly with Captain Neville, or even if he had a part to play in this most unusual game of football, but I do warm to the idea that he might well have done. Before leaving the battlefield, I paid a visit to Carnoy Cemetery. This is the place where Captain Neville now rests, along with some of the 20,000 that were killed on that opening day of the Somme. This isolated crucifix. Don't know if it's a personal memorial or something. For the memory of Henri Thirion de Monclin, captain of the 69th Regiment Infantry, is that? And the soldiers of the 5th Company who died for France, 28th of September 1914. I don't think the weather can really make its mind up. One minute it's a light shower and then the sun's out and then it's a bit of rain again. Still, on balance, it's been a good day so far. Okay, so I'm just dropping back down into Mametz now, and the idea is to head up towards Mametz Wood. Apparently a red dragon lives there. Just cemeteries everywhere. So many dead. Danzig Alley. You know, you could spend time in all the cemeteries. There's a story to be told in each and every one, you know. Is this the way? Here we go, 38th Welsh Division Memorial. This is where we'll find the red dragon. Just going up that hill, I've seen this in the ground. I've no idea what it is. Is it anything from the war? I've no idea. Oh, I know what it is. It's the pedals of an old car. Nothing that exciting. Wonder where the rest of the car is though. So we're looking at Mametz Wood there on the left. This is where the Welsh Division, the 38th Welsh Division, got stuck in. Do you know, this ground really isn't flat at all. I expect the Welsh are quite happy here, it being so hilly. I think when we come to visit other areas of the battlefield, we'll see it a lot more flat than this. Ah, here we are. Which is quite a memorial, really.
See the Welsh dragon, he's clutching the barbed wire there, look. Wow.
In 1914, an all-Welsh division was raised and was originally numbered the 43rd in Kitchener's New Army. However, it was renumbered the 38th the following year and was formed of 3 brigades. Mametz Wood was firmly in German hands and stood in the way of further advance, and so had to be taken. This task was given to the Welsh division. It was well defended by experienced and highly trained German troops. The Welsh by comparison had completed basic training just 7 months before, and the attack would be their first action. On the 7th of July at 8 AM the assault began with a bombardment on the German lines, but a planned smokescreen failed as the wind blew in the wrong direction. Yet at 8:30 AM the 38th Division advanced, with the 17th Northern Division attacking to the west. The bombardment had failed to destroy the German positions, and the advancing 38th Division, made up of the 16th Welsh and the 11th South Wales Borderers, were cut down in a crossfire by the German machine guns. This attack, along with a second, had failed. Field Marshal Haig wasted no time in appointing a more experienced Major General Watts to take charge, and ordered him to take the wood at any cost. On the 10th of July, a second attack began with an artillery bombardment at 3:30 AM, followed by a smoke barrage. This allowed the battalions of the 13th and the 14th Welsh to rush forward. It was the 14th Battalion, the Swansea Pals, that first managed to break in and hold a section of the wood. The 15th Carmarthens then came to support the 13th Second Ronders, and later that day a trench line was dug and held. The following day, the 11th of July, 3 battalions were brought in to relieve the troops involved in the initial attack. From this point, progress was slow but gradual. Smashed trees and thick undergrowth made fighting extremely difficult, much of which was hand to hand, but eventually in the early hours of the 12th of July the 38th Welsh were within 60 yards of the German line. It was at this point the Germans opened up with a heavy artillery bombardment that forced the Welsh back. The depleted and exhausted men of the 38th were eventually relieved by the 21st Division, by which time the remaining German troops had largely left the wood. Mametz Wood was now in Allied hands, and the Somme offensive was able to push further on. This memorial is dedicated to the 4,000 men of the Welsh 38th Division that were killed or wounded between the 7th to the 12th of July 1916.
That's a bit near the mark. I'm just leaving the Welsh Memorial, and that puddle's a lot deeper than what you think. Wouldn't have been a good look had I gone in, I don't think. Right, let's hope it improves. It's only a track, but we've had a lot of rain lately, and well, just have to take my time, I guess. This cemetery is just along from Mametz Wood. And that coach was for a party of school children, which were all over the place. Still, they look quite well behaved, I guess. I would love the chance of coming to a place like this if I was on a school trip. I even went to the zoo. Quite nice just to ride a little bit lighter. You can cover ground just a bit easier, and but I've got to say, I haven't done too many miles today. I think I'm only 15 miles in, that's all. Nasty little bend. Oh yeah, and the map tells me we've got a bit of a climb coming up. Oh well. well, anyone can cycle downhill, can't they? It don't look much, but this is a good old pull, this hill. Whew. Byzantine. Do you know what? There's a ridge here, wasn't there? I should have guessed. I thought it was a real cow for a minute. Give me a jump. Just about to approach the Montauban Albert road, and this is the main road in the area, and it's obviously, it's about 5:30 now, so perhaps I'm coming into the rush hour traffic, I don't know, but I'm just going to pull over and put my bright coloured jacket on and stick the rear light on as well, because it won't hurt to be too safe with it. I think I'll head back to the campsite now. I just can feel the weather turning again, and I've had a good day, so. Let's have a look at this Canadian monument. Be rude not to. Now this memorial is slightly different, rather than have a register, being a memorial only, it still has a visitor's book, and all the cemeteries have got this for people to sign, and it's, you know, it's really good because people come from all over the world, and I guess being a Canadian memorial, as you can see, there's people from mainly Canada and so on. Just say a few words of thanks. It's starting to come down now. It's not such a nice end to the day, but I've had a great day. Just past a marker on the road which indicated the front line as it was in September 1916. Now, when you think about it, we know that Albert is in that direction. It can't be no more than 5 or 6 miles away. Yet it took best part of 3 months to capture all this land. And this monument's here to commemorate the Australian involvement in this area. This place is called the Windmill. Good place to have a windmill, mind, because it's open and I'm sure it catches a good breeze. Just over the road we've got the tank memorial. We'll go and check that out now. It's pretty much in this spot where, or close by, where the tanks were first used ever here on the Somme.
The first use of tanks came on the 15th of September 1916 at Flers-Courcelette. Barely half of the 49 used actually moved forward, however they had a dramatic effect on German morale and proved effective in crossing trenches and barbed wire.
Pretty cool, aren't they? I'm not sure what we're looking at there. I wonder if this is perhaps a French tank. I'm not sure. I'm sure there'll be experts watching this that go, oh no, it's one of those tanks. You don't know what you're talking about. I don't profess to be an expert on any of this. I've just got an interest. Okay, well that really does wrap up the day, I think. I'm just going to head back to the campsite and dry off and get some food, and let's see what tomorrow brings. I should be leaving the Albert area tomorrow, and on the way out I hope to visit a few more memorials, namely Teepbouw and Montauban. But anyway, we'll see about that tomorrow. I've just stopped at the Pozières cemetery and just looking, you know, glancing over the inscriptions and the names of the men and so on. And I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but this is a really touching one. Look. In the midst of life we are in death, gone but not forgotten by his dear ones at home. And throughout the, throughout all the cemeteries, some are inscribed, some of the headstones are inscribed, and it's really quite touching. And I guess over the years, family members would have visited, and it would have meant, you know, everything to them to see that there. Bring a degree of comfort, I guess. And the soldiers that were never identified, they just simply had the words known unto God. And all around the inside wall is full of names also. The men that never had a grave. A known grave, that is. Just takes your breath away looking at this, you know. There's so many here. This is just one of how many cemeteries? Wow. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to check out part 3 as I continue my journey.